Hello ladies, hello gents, thank you for being here today. My name is Mira Skinder, and on today's video we are going to be talking about the kinds of men to avoid. If you are in a relationship already with a man that has these character traits, then you have to terminate that relationship before it goes south. But if you are still about to get into a relationship with one and you notice all these character traits that I'm about to mention, or majority of them, then you have to run. You have to avoid him totally and completely. Before we dive in, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any uploads, and give this video a thumbs up. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings.
So let's dive right in. The number one kind of man that you need to avoid is the mama's boy. Oh my God. Yes, it is good for a man to love his mom, because if a man is able to love his mom, then there's probability that he's going to be able to love you. If a man takes care of his mother, that shows the kind of man that he is. But a mama's boy is the one that is never grown. Is the one who will run everything by his mother before he can do it. If he needs to date a woman, he runs it by his mother. If he's dating a woman, he runs the relationship by his mother. If you guys even have conflict, he runs it by his mom. That way, most moms are going to hate you, the girlfriend, because of what their son is saying about you. Because if a man runs to his mom every time you guys have an argument, and the mom is the kind of mom that interferes in your relationship, then you will be dating him and you'll be dating his mom. Some men go out there and they are looking for a woman that they want to be their mom, yet they're sleeping with that woman. You can't have it both ways. You know, if you're with a woman, you have to respect this woman. You have to be with a woman. And if you see a man that everything that he needs to do, he needs to run by his mom. If you see a man whose mom is running his life, then that is a mama's boy. You will have to avoid this kind of man, because it will not yield you any fruit in that relationship. The next point, the kind of man that you have to avoid is the married but separated. I'll say that again, married but separated. These are the worst kind of men that you need to avoid, because all they do is lie, and lie some more. A man will walk up to a woman and you'll be like, oh, my wife is not doing this, my wife is doing that, my wife is not up to the task, my wife is this, my wife is that. And you, as a stupid woman, you will believe this man and feel like you're doing him a favor, and feel like you're taking him out of the dumpster, as if you're taking him out of some depression or doom, because you think that his wife is not doing the things that needs to be done by a woman. What makes you think that the wife is not doing all he's saying that the wife is not doing? Or what makes you think that the wife is actually as bad as he's painting it to you? See, a man would do anything and everything just to get in bed with you. And before dating a man, you have to make sure that this man is done with his wife. If he is saying that he's separated, there is a probability that they can come back together. So where will you find yourself when he decides to go back to his wife? Sometimes there are no problems at home. The wife doesn't even know that there's a problem, but this man is coming out here looking for a woman that he wants to get into that woman's panties, and all he can say is bad things about the wife. If he is saying bad things about the wife to you, then what makes you think he will not say that to another woman about you? Because that's all there is to it. Before you go around dating a man, you have to make sure that this man is divorced if he has been married before. That is the only way that you can truly have this man to yourself. That is the only way you can truly call this man your own, because he is not legally bound to another person. So yes, this is the kind of man that you need to avoid. This brings me to the third point. The kind of man that you need to avoid is the one that does not know how to commit. The one who is who is emotionally unavailable. You know, the kind of man that when you're talking to him, you can never get anything out of him. Like today, he's with you, tomorrow he's not with you. Today, he's making you feel like you're the princess, like you're his ward, but tomorrow he is on the other side of the planet, like you don't even know how to bring anything out of him. This kind of man will frustrate you because you can never tell where you stand with him. So yes, if you see a man behaving that way, there is nothing that you can do to fulfill his emotional needs. This is a man that needs to work on himself. This is a man that needs to work on his emotional state, and there is nothing that you can do to help him because he needs to get there before you can be able to date him. If not, you will find yourself down the line 2, 3, 4 years with a man that is emotionally unavailable. This brings me to the next point. Another kind of man that you should not date is the lazy and broke. You know, the kind of man that would just sit and he doesn't feel the need to pursue a career. He doesn't feel the need to go out there and work like every hard-working man. He is broke and he is lazy. What he does is he gets up every day and he's laying in bed. Worst of all, if this man has successfully moved in with you, then you're in trouble. Because he just lays back there, you get up in the morning, you go to work and come back and pay his bills. You get up in the morning, you go to work and come back, and sometimes he hasn't even cleaned the house. He hasn't done anything that you can see and feel a little bit relieved that you're with somebody. This is the kind of man that will drain you emotionally, he will drain you mentally, and he will drain you financially. Because all he does is just sweet talk you into giving him money, more money, and more money. And he has no purpose. This kind of man you need to run away from because he's no good for you. This kind of man will be the one that will take your money and give it to another woman. He will take the sweat that you've put in and give it to another woman. He will even trash your feelings before you because he doesn't regard you as anything. A man who has the right head on his neck does not need a woman to sponsor him. He does not need a woman to take care of his financial needs. He will go out there and work. I'm not saying that somebody should not be broke, don't get me wrong. Being broke is different from being broke and lazy. You know, because he can just be broke for a phase, maybe because he's lost his job or because something has happened, but then you see him actively working to get something better. If you don't see a man that has potential, if you don't see a man that is having purpose, this is not the kind of man that you want to submit to. This is not the kind of man that you say he is a leader, because men were born leaders, and if he cannot lead you, there is no reason why you should be with him in the first place, you understand? So yes, dump his ass. He's no good for you. This brings me to another point. Another kind of man to avoid is the one that is bitter. A man that speaks lowly about other women. You know how some men, when you meet them and you're trying to get to know them, all they do is badmouth their ex. All they do is talk about other women. Talk about how women are bad. Talk about how women are whores. Talk about how women are just good for nothing. If a man has this little tiny value for a woman, what makes you think that your case is different? What makes you think so? Let that sink in. If he's the kind of man that he doesn't value a woman, what makes you think he's going to value you? Ask yourself what he's looking for after you, because if he doesn't value a woman, then he necessarily doesn't value you because you are a woman. So yeah, when you see that kind of man, you need to run and run and run, because no good will come out of your relationship. Another kind of man to avoid is the serial cheater. You know, the kind of one that doesn't want to see anything in skirt. The kind of man that is always after the new girl on the block. The kind of man that every woman that he sees is the woman that he wants to jump into bed with. The kind of man that will even bring another woman before you and degrade you. Ladies, let us stop giving men the chance to hurt us over and over and over again. If a man is a man that cheats, whenever he goes out there and cheat, he shouldn't come back and meet you in that same place. Because if you tolerate cheating 1, 2, 3 times, there is no stopping to it. because that is what you have accepted. That is who he thinks you are, because he knows that he will gallivant round and round and round, and he will come back to you because you're that cheap. He'll come back to you because you're that dumb, you're that stupid, and he just wants to be with you. So you're like this kind of, you know how PUMA grip is suspended in the air, right? Yes, this is how the man is going to suspend you in the air like the PUMA grip, and you're just going to be hanging there until he goes round and come and pull you down. You don't want to be that kind of woman. You don't want to let a man show you over and over again who he is, and you keep disbelieving him, because when he shows you who he is, you need to believe him. The kind of man that you need to avoid is the Mr. Let's go with the flow. You know, that kind of man that doesn't define your relationship. That kind of man who, when you ask, what are we? He says, let's just see where this is going. He never tells you you're in a relationship with him. He never tells you that he loves you. Even if he tells you that he loves you, it's just lip service. It's not something that is coming from his heart. He's just saying that because he knows that that's what you want to hear. He doesn't show you to his friends. He doesn't show you to his family. Every man has an ego, and they boast of their women. If a man loves you, you will know. If a man wants to be with you, you will know. He will define that relationship. Because sometimes women stay in a relationship hoping that this man is going to settle down with them, hoping that down the line he's going to make them known, hoping that he's going to define their relationship. But he has already told you in the beginning that he just wants to see where this is going. That is giving him an open space. That is giving him leverage to be able to go out there and chase other women. Because yes, when you ask him tomorrow, he's going to tell you he never told you that you guys are inclusive. So what were you expecting? A man always say what they want. They always show you what they want. And if a man is not ready to define your relationship, if a man is not ready to define what you guys have, then there is no reason being with him. Because you're just spending your time with a man that can do nothing for you. A man that will just waste your time. Time is so valuable. That is something that you don't want to lose, because time lost can never be regained. So yes, when you see a man that cannot define his relationship, that is the kind of man that you need. Excuse me, guys. Oh my God. I feel like I'm drinking wine right now. That's why I'm drinking from that glass. The mind is telling me that I'm drinking wine. So yeah, this is the kind of man that you need to avoid. Another kind of man to avoid is the Mr. Dark 30. You know, the kind of man that doesn't call you during the day. It's not because he's working or something. It's not because he's doing anything. But he's specifically calling you at night. The kind of man that calls you when you're your most vulnerable, because in the dark hours, that is the time that we are most vulnerable, you know, especially if you're not at work or you're not the kind of person that works overnight. That is the time that a man who is called the Mr. Dark 30, that's the time that he decides to call you, because he's going to be on the phone like, hello. You're going to be like, hello. He'll say, babe, what are you doing at this time? You know, the masculine voice, the one that makes you want to go Haiti. He's like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm just there chilling. And he will tell you, I've been thinking about you all day. I just couldn't sleep without calling you. And you, as a woman who is so excited and so emotional, you're going to be like, oh my God, this man has been thinking about me all day and he cannot even sleep without calling me. Girl, this man is a player. And he knows the tricks. That's why he's doing all that. That's why he's deciding to call you at your most vulnerable time of the day, because he wants to put you in a place where he can get you. During the day, you will never see this kind of man. During the day, he wouldn't even send you a text message, talk less of calling you. He decides and chooses only to call you at night. If you discover that as a pattern, and you do not get any valid explanation for why he does that, run. Because what he's trying to do is play with your emotions. He's playing with your imaginations. He's playing with that vulnerable part of you. Because which woman out there doesn't want a man that thinks about them right before bed? Which woman out there doesn't want a man that wants to cater to their needs, want to cater to their emotions, cater to their feelings? He chooses just that time to call you because he knows where he's trying to put you. And once you fall into that pit, then he's going to hang you dry. So please don't fall for that. These are the kind of men that you need to avoid. Another kind of man to avoid is the controlling one. The kind of one that at the beginning you think he's just being protective. You think because he loves you so much, he's just being protective of you. It starts with little don't go there, or don't see your friends, or this kind of man will try to take you away from everything that you are and everybody that you love, just because they want to keep you in a place where they can dominate you. They want to keep you at a place where they know that you will only need them. They want you to be in a place where no other person out there is seeing their BS. Because sometimes when you're too close to something, you really cannot see it. But somebody that is looking from inside out can see what is going on. So this kind of man is the over-controlling one, and most often than not, they are the wealthy ones. Some men, when they are wealthy, they think that because they have some change, they can do anything they want to do with women. But you have to stand your ground as a woman. You have to have your standards. I'm not saying that you should be the disrespectful or the stubborn kind of woman. I'm just saying that you should know who you are and what you're about. Because if you do not stand for anything, you will fall for everything. Ladies, we got to step our games up, because if we are able to get ourselves to a place that we love ourselves enough to be able to walk away from situations that no longer serve us, then we will be in better relationships. Because at the beginning of the vetting period, you already seen who this man is, and you have to have the courage to leave if it is not working for you. You must not be in a relationship at that particular time. You must not be in a relationship with that particular person. There is somebody out there who is going to love you for you and for you alone, because you're that unique, because you're that beautiful, and because you're that smart. Thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And also, do not forget to hit the notification bell. That way you know when we upload new videos. Have a fab one and stay blessed.
Music on all the way baritone.